Thanks for joining the channel today. So today we got a service call and we got a trip breaker there. You should be able to see that one there on the right, about the center, single pole, 20 amp breaker. It's one of the specialty square D, and you can see the little red tab in the window there showing you that the breaker is tripped. We got a ground fault on this one, so just got in there, hadn't looked at anything yet, just took the panel cover off and tried to flip that breaker. So that's what we're going to investigate, try to solve this problem today. So there we go, guys. Breaker, panel cover off. Going to go ahead and try to give that breaker a nice flip. Reset it by pulling it back to the right and give it a nice flip back on there, and let's see if it's going to hold. We have a ground fault. So we got a ground fault in the system. That's what I have to go find to try to troubleshoot this service call here. Okay, so we made it into the bedroom. This is one of the outlets that appears to be on this circuit. Didn't have my plug checker with me, but this volt tester will do just fine to tell me that it has no power. So I'm going to pull this one out, give it a look, and see what we can find here. You know, this is just where you start. You look, try to find the outlets that aren't on or lighting, whatever it might be, see if you can find. And there we go, very first one. It looks like the Madison ring that was put in on this box, which is that little metal tab there that's sticking out on the side of the box, called a Madison hanger, holds these metal boxes in, and that you can see right there, that was where the ground fault was, and touching the tab because somebody didn't screw that screw all the way down, and they didn't put tape on it as well. So there we go, found the problem. Pretty easy, guys. You know, all these service calls are obviously different, but that's what we've got here. And look what other problem we got here. It's called a bootleg ground, guys. Totally illegal. Jumping from the neutral down to the ground to get the tester to read that there's a ground. Totally illegal. So here's the second outlet that is on the same circuit, it would appear, because it's off as well. But I am not going to take this one apart and do anything with it until I've completed the other outlet and got it installed. Flip the breaker back on, see if it holds, and if it does, there's no need to even mess with that. A little close up here for you. Yeah, look at that nice arc fault there. Just frying it, just blowing it up, just taking big chunks of metal out of there. But that's what you can expect, you know, and the person should have screwed that screw down. If they knew what they were doing, they would have screwed the screw all the way down, even though there's not a wire on the screw. But that's what you see, hit the Madison hanger, and it happened to be on the right side where it hit, and that's the hot side. You can see the black wire connects there. So we're going to push that back on there, but if you see on the other side here, like I said before, bootleg ground, jumping the ground wire from the neutral down to the ground, just to rig it up and make the plug tester show that it's grounded for the inspectors, so they'll pass an inspection. But not only is this illegal according to the National Electrical Code, it's also very dangerous. That is the reason it's illegal to do, because it's dangerous. You get return currents on the neutral or on the ground that it's attached to, and anything that somebody plugs in, they could possibly get shocked by that, because could be a return current. So definitely should never do that. So guys, here's our fix for today. Per NEC code, we're going to add a GFCI outlet and always take off that yellow sticker down there. You can see the line side at the top, load side at the bottom. Got that off there, and there's our load side, even though we won't need it. And yeah, guys, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the GFCI in per, I'd have to actually get in my code book to look that exact code up, but I believe it's in the receptacle section, like 405. I hope I'm really close on that. But that allows you to put in GFCI on a ungrounded circuit wire, which this one is, no ground. You can put the GFCI in there as long as you label it in the end with no equipment ground. And of course, because of the original reason that this arc fault happened, we've got that Madison hanger still in there. And it's going to be really tight when I add this GFCI. Let's go ahead and put some tape around there and protect those screws. And here as well, this is what I was saying, how you mark it no equipment ground. Every box of GFCI should come with the stickers, and one of them should say no equipment ground. You just put that on the cover or put that on the plug itself and you're good to go. Let's reset the breaker and see if it holds. Nice. Now that's what I call a successful service repair. We're still not done yet. Let's check out the new GFCI we installed. Now we got the plug checker in there. Let's reset the GFCI first. Now we can stick the plug checker in, give it a check. Shows we're ungrounded, we knew that. Power's on though. The button on the plug checker is not going to trip the GFCI. You're going to have to use the test button itself. We see the trip, the light goes off, reset it. Try it one more time. That means the GFCI is good to go. It's working properly. So the last thing to do here is get this panel cover back on. We can get up out of here and move on to the next one. Well, it all worked out, guys, but it looks like we're still missing one screw. Let's go see if we can find one in the van. So look at that. Found a new screw and it fit perfectly. So we're wrapped up with this one and we're moving on to the next job. We're out of here.